Hey guys, Bill the Universe, and I want to talk to you about the astrological birth chart of Andrew Tate. I heard I like to watch like e-commerce videos because I actually run a few e-commerce stores, and so I was listening to this guy speak, and he was so offensive and so in your face and so brash and nonchalant of just being very honestly offensive. And it was like very jarring too. And and I had seen his face before, and obviously I'm talking about Andrew Tate. I had seen his face before previously, but I didn't hear him speak. I just saw his face and I thought, "Oh, he's a cute guy." Um and he looks like this guy I dated, which is interesting because um I find out him and this guy I dated are actually the same section of Scorpio called Anuradha. So that just for me kind of confirms that certain placements will actually give you like similar looks. So yeah, his sun is in Scorpio. He's a Scorpio sun, which is part of the reason why he is very sexy. And he has like very dark eyes, and like really nice skin. And I notice people who have honorata placements will have really, really nice, smooth skin. Um, so specifically, this star of Anuradha, and I found that very interesting. But as far as like why he's so brash and why he's so honestly rude, um, I found out that his moon is in the also in Scorpio, but it's in a different star. It's the star of Jeshta, and Jeshta in Hindu means the chief or the elder, and the Shakti for Jeshta is seeking to fight or seeking to start war. So this means that Jeshta moon people kind of actively start conflict. So this very much made sense. Donald Trump, his moon is in Jeshta, which is probably why cosmically he only lasted one term, because I think we were all kind of starting to predict that he was started wanting to start a war with some country, because it was very common knowledge that he was going out and meeting with like the leader of North Korea. He was meeting with Putin. So that makes sense that this person was this like basically suggests that because his moon is in Jeshta, that this person is a fight starter, is a conflict initiator, is an instigator, really. And the other thing is, I learned that he's worth almost $1 billion. So there's a study done by Claire Nocti, and the biggest indicator for a very rich, very wealthy person was this very specific star of Jeshta, which is the star of Antares, and it sits in the heart of Scorpio. So for his sun and moon to be in Scorpio, that means he's a very, very intense person. Um, and there's, like I said, these people like to start fights. And actually, Mike Tyson, his moon is in it is in Jeshta. Um, so I find that very fascinating. So this guy is, he's very like suave and smooth and sexy, like an Anuradha, which is a very friendly star of Scorpio. So, like I said, his sun is an Anuradha. That's at the front of Scorpio. That's like at that like the head of Scorpio, and this is actually a very friendly star. So, he has those traits of Anuradha, which, like I said, is a very smooth skin, very sexy guy. Brad Pitt is an Anuradha native. Marlon Brando is an Anuradha native. So men who are Anuradha natives are very sexy. And damn, that's a lot of fucking Scorpio. It's in the fourth Navamsha. The fourth Navamsha of Saturn ruled stars are Scorpio. So dang, this guy is Scorpio on Scorpio. Wow, that's intense. No wonder he's so intense. So anyway, um, yeah, but his moon is in a different star of Scorpio called Jeshta. And like I said, to reiterate, this there was a study done by Claire Nocti. She studied like 100 different rich, like the charts of 100 different rich men, like the world's richest men, and a lot of them, including like Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, stuff like that. They had their moon in Jeshta, which is a star in the heart of Scorpio. Um, so wow, I find that very interesting. And like I said, the Shakti for Jeshta, which is the Hindu like phrase for ancient Hindu phrase for Jeshta, is to start war, to start conflict. And this is the oldest, this is the chief, this is the elder. So either these people are the oldest of their siblings, or they are the most successful of their siblings. And it's a very dry, thirsty type of star. So these people, because this is actually the driest star. So because they're not inwardly fulfilled, like with abundance, with a natural like spiritual wealth, they are constantly thirsty for physical and material wealth, which drives them to have that hunger, constant hunger for materialism. And the other thing is, not only is his moon in Jeshta, but his Saturn is also in Jeshta. I actually have my Saturn is also in Jeshta as well, and my Saturn is sitting in my first house, which kind of can give me that bit of bitingness. Like I can be a bit biting, a little bit nasty with my words as well, especially when I write songs. But it's not as severe as this guy because that's just my Saturn. Whereas this is his moon. So this is like the most intimate part of him. This is the truest part of him. But not only is his moon in Jeshta, but his Saturn is in Jeshta. That means he's got his Saturn conjunct moon. So honestly, with all this Scorpio, with all this Saturn, Sun and Moon represents your mother and your father. Sun is representative of the father. Moon is representative of the mother. And to be honest, I'm glad the only thing I know about him is that he's very rude, and that he's very sexy, and that he's very accomplished, and he's a fighter. So I'm glad that's the only thing I know about him. I'm glad I don't know like too many like very intimate details. But this suggests like a very distant relationship with the parents. Either the parents are very rich themselves, or the parents are dead, or because Scorpio is death, or the parents are very intense also. Like he gets this intensity. But because there's so much Saturn, this indicates that there's a real distance. Now, sometimes this actually could mean, because Saturn is a humanitarian in a friendship, a very friendly, not friendly, but it's humanitarian, right? So this could mean that he's very, like, on a friend level with his parents. But that's just sometimes. But a lot of times, this actually means that either their parents are dead, or that there's a lot of distance between him and his parents. His Mars is in Shatabisha, which is a star in Aquarius. So Mars is the warrior within you. It's how you spend your time and energy. And actually, Shatabisha, and like I said, Shatabisha, I didn't say this, but Shatabisha can also be rude too. Shatabisha is very much someone who likes to break things down and kind of like take the illusion of something and get rid of the illusion of it. So, which is what I noticed that I've only heard him speak for like a minute, but I noticed he was doing that. He was like, if you're listening to someone under da 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 da, then you're stupid. Or all these people, you know what they think? They think this and da da da. So it's like he likes to kind of like give you like this insight where it kind of like he likes to present this illusion and then break down the illusion to show you the actual truth of something, which is very much very, very Shatabisha, which is a star in Aquarius. But actually, Shatabisha is incredibly creative, and it's very geared towards the future. It's a very mathematical sign, and it's a very, very geared towards like electronics, the internet, stuff like that. It's always on the forefront of like of what's the cutting edge of the future, future technology, stuff like that. So, for example, Steve Jobs, his moon was in this very same placement of Aquarius and under the star of Shadabisha. A lot of incredibly creative people are Shadabisha natives. Leonardo da Vinci is a Shadabisha native. Michelangelo is a Shadabisha native. So, like I said, this is a star in Aquarius, and it's a very like not intense as Scorpio, but it's very like rude, and it's very matter of fact. So that's also makes sense. But this also indicates that he's actually a very creative person. So yeah, and whatever he does create, he uses like mathematics or scientific things, or something like modern technology to kind of he mixes that with his creativity. And I was wondering if he had like a Jupiter placement because he does make so much money. But I see that he doesn't. He doesn't have really any Jupiter placements in his chart. But it makes sense that he makes so much money because, like I said, his moon is in Jeshta, and that is the number one indicator for extreme wealth is moon and Jeshta. Any strong Jeshta placement will kind of help you with money and business because Jeshta is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of business, really, and money and games. And money is a game, really. It's something where you have to know the rules, and you have to be really good at it, and you have to be cunning and use your wits, you know. And that's why Mercury, people who are heavy in Mercury, they're pretty good with money. And his Ketu, which is South Node, is in Chitra. And Chitra is a star in Virgo. It's actually a very motherly star. It's a very maternal star, but it's also a very fierce star. It means that he is someone who naturally, because Ketu is like the past, like all the information you've accumulated in your past lives. And so, for his Ketu to be in Chitra, which is a star in Virgo, this means that he has accumulated a lot of knowledge about fighting, about discipline, about like sticking to a goal all the way through. Like once you start the race, you finish it. Once you start the marathon, you finish it. You have the energy and the tenacity and the stamina to go all the way through. He might have grown up being actually a very scrawny kid, and people might have not thought he had a lot of stamina when actually he had more stamina than most people. And it also suggests that he's very smart, very methodical, very good with numbers, very has like an engineering mindset, which is interesting because I know he was like a fighter at first, and now he's like an entrepreneur. But this actually suggests that he's got a lot of know-how when it comes to technology, and I wonder if he even like is a coder, like he knows about coding and stuff like that. Because Chitra is the cosmic architect, and when you think about cosmic architecture, you think of coding because life is just a series of ones and zeros, isn't it? Yeah. I wish I knew his ascendant, but I don't know what time he was born. Okay, guys, I think that's enough. All right.